Hi, I'm Emily from Trident Fly Fishing, and today we're going to tie the Clouser Minnow, a must-have pattern in every fly fisherman's box. Most of us think of this as a classic saltwater fly, but it's actually very effective when tied in various sizes and colors for all sorts of fresh and saltwater species. In fact, the fly's creator, Bob Clouser, originally tied it as a smallmouth bass fly. We're going to tie it today as a saltwater pattern on a saltwater hook. The Gamakatsu SS15 is a nice hook. We also use a Dumbell Eye. Today we have a 210 denier that I'll be tying with, and the color will match the colors of the ingredients in the fly. The most important ingredient is the bucktail. We're using a Hareline large northern bucktail in various colors. White for the belly, and then different colors for the body of the fly. The fly also has crystal flash in it. There isn't too many a fly that can't be improved with crystal flash. So let's get started. We're going to start by laying a thread body, starting right behind the eye and wrapping to about halfway between the back of the eye and the point of the hook. I can measure that using my scissors as a gauge. It's about right, maybe a little bit further. This is important because this is where we will be placing our dumbbell eyes. And the placement of the eyes is important as it affects the action of the fly. I'm going to affix the dumbbell eye just at the back of this thread base, and it's going to be attached with a series of figure-8 wraps, with maintaining even tension on the thread as I wrap. I'm wrapping around the middle of the dumbbells, and then it's a series of different types of figure-8 wraps. If you can see my thread, I'm going to not only go over and across, but I'm coming over the side of the dumbbell, under the hook shank, and over the side of the next dumbbell. Repeated like so. And then figure-8 again. Also important to lash in front and behind those eyes as you're working. This takes quite a few series of figure-8 wraps to make sure that it's laying nice and flat and very well secured. So I'll take a few more of those over the top and under the hook. Another cross, and then I'm going to finish off with just some flat wraps, series of flat loops like so. And one more cross, finishing just in front of the eye. At this point, I can take a look at the way the eyes are laying on the top of the shank and make sure that they're perfectly perpendicular and tweak it a little bit if I have to. Advance the thread to about halfway between the eye of the hook and the dumbbell eyes. And at this point, I like to give a little dab of head cement just to hold that set of eyes very securely in place. A dab on top. Rotate the vise. Get a little cement on the bottom. Very important to make sure that your dumbbell eyes are very securely attached. Now we're ready to affix the first set of bucktail. This is the Hareline Great Northern Bucktail. I'm using a natural color for the belly of the fly. Remember, this fly, because of the weight distribution, it's actually going to ride hook point up in the water. So whatever material I tie on the top of the hook is essentially the belly of the fly. Most commonly, the fly is tied with a lighter underbelly and a darker body. So we're going to use this natural white bucktail for the belly of the fly. Now, not all bucktail is created equal. What you want to do is look for nice, long, thin fibers. Usually from about the middle of the bucktail is the best in terms of quality and length. The reason for that is bucktail is hollow, and the thinner the fiber, the less airspace inside the hair, so the faster that fly is going to sink. Also, thinner fibers are less likely to flare when you tie them down on the hook. Pick a little clump, pinch with my thumb and forefinger, and I'm more or less aligning the tips a bit as I pull that clump out from the hide itself. And I'm going to snip right next to the hide. Now my fingers are going to come back about 3/4 of the length so that I can pull those short fibers out and discard them, leaving me with pretty uniform length and more or less aligned tips. Now you can put these in a hair stacker if you like perfectly straight aligned tips. but I prefer the natural look of the fly pulled straight from the bucktail. Now I'm going to measure the length, and I want it to be about 2 times as long as the hook. So moving my fingers accordingly, getting my length, there's about 2 times. I cut my butt ends before tying it in. There we go. And again, my thread is about halfway between the eye of the hook and the dumbbell eyes. I'm going to pinch the bucktail in my thumb and forefinger, hold it at an angle against the hook shank, and with my thread I'm coming over with 2 loose wraps just to gather all those fibers, and then I'm going to start to put tension on as I pull up with that 3rd wrap. And I can pull back slightly just to line up all those tips and get them out of the eye. Now I maintain nice even tension as I wrap forward to the eye, pulling in all of those little butt ends and making a nice clean base for a smooth cone head that will build up later on. Continuing to hold the bucktail tautly between my thumb and forefinger, I'm now going to come underneath the eyes and lash just behind. And make a few loose spiral wraps along the hook shank. This helps channel the bucktail. You don't want to put a lot of tension on right now because you don't want to compress it too much. We're just trying to keep everything straight and channeling it together. Then I'm wrapping back towards the eyes, underneath again, and ending up in front, halfway between my dumbbell eyes and my hook eye. Now, use your rotary function on the vise to flip the fly over. If you don't have a rotary vise, you'll have to do that manually. But we're going to work from the underside now. The next ingredient is Crystal Flash. Crystal Flash is a wonderful addition to most any fly, especially saltwater patterns. I like to take no more than 4 strands, 3 or 4, long Crystal Flash, cut it from the bundle. And since it's very long, I can double it over on my thread and get ready to lash it in right in front of the eyes. Just a few twists is all you really need to lash it down securely. And then just split your fibers. You can use a dubbing needle for this if you need to, and just make sure you have an equal number on each side of the hook shank. The next ingredient is the body of the fly, or the back of the fly, and we're going to use chartreuse bucktail for that. Again, we're going to use the same procedure, looking for the longest, thinnest fibers we can find, usually about the middle of the bucktail. I like to pull a slightly larger clump for the color, the body of the fly, than I did with the white, but you still want to tie it pretty sparse. You don't want to overdress these flies. So again, even up the tips, cut at the base, grab those tips with your offhand and pull the shorter fibers out, just like we did before. Measure my length. And snip. Hold those fibers at an angle on the hook. 2 loose wraps and tension. And you can put good tension on this heavy saltwater thread. This is a 210 denier, and I can put a pretty good amount of pressure on so that I know I've got a nice tight head. Now, same as we did with the Crystal Flash, I like to take my dubbing needle and just separate the fibers so that I have the same amount on either side of the hook. And then it's time for a whip finish. I actually like to use my whip finish technique to build up my head. Now, what we want to achieve is a really nicely tapered, smooth, cone-shaped head. Covering all those little butt fibers. And then we give it a snip or a cut. And turn the fly over and trim out my crystal flash. I like it to be a little bit longer than my bucktail fibers, but only slightly. Get a dab of head cement. And I am applying, and you can use whatever cement of your choice. I like to apply it to this thread-wrapped white part of the belly, as well as the space between the eyes, and again, of course, up at the head that we just finished off. And that's the Clouser Minnow. All of these materials are available at tridentflyfishing.com. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call, 888-413-5211. I'm Emily. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.